Hey there guys, it's Matt from Parable here, and what episode of the podcast is it?
Shit, it's like 7, I think.
And I'm introducing episode 7 of the Parable podcast. Now, joining me today is Greg.
Yeah.
And Octo.
Yo.
And today, as always, or as we're always supposed to, I know we haven't been, but today we're going to start off with a little bit of talking about what games we've been playing recently. So, Greg, would you like to start on that?
Yeah, sure. I have been playing Metal Gear Solid 1 as of earlier today, which is hype because all this news, which we'll be discussing later, of Ground Zeroes and obviously Revengeance, because it's been made by the best developer in the world, Platinum Games, it's pretty much just made me fucking hype for all these Metal Gear Solid games. So I kind of thought, let's fucking play through it. So
Fair enough.
I bought Metal Gear Solid 1 today. Played about.
Anything else you've been playing?
Anything else I've been playing? More Rock Band Blitz, as I said last week. I've been playing even more.
You really enjoyed it, do you?
Oh, it's so good. So much fun. I mean,
I've never managed to get into a Rock Band game.
It's completely not Rock Band in the way.
Is it not?
Well, no, because you don't use instruments or anything.
Oh, okay. It
It
shows how little I know.
it's much better. Because it's more about, how Rock Band and all that was about hitting notes. You get good percentages and all this shit.
Yeah.
Where this is kind of more about getting good scores, by utilizing these various things you've got. It's about using different things to get good score multipliers and getting all good power-up combinations. It's not, I wouldn't call it smarter, I just call it a bit more in-depth with the score system, which, it's definitely great, and I'll be putting a review. By the time this is out, obviously the review will be out, so I hope everyone enjoys that. But yes, it's a very good game, and I love it.
Fair enough.
And that's all.
And yourself, Fox? Okay. And yourself, Octo, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing absolute shitloads of Path of Exile, which is really weird because I don't usually get engrossed into MMOs like this, but oh god. Usually I just play MMOs for the social factor, I find them really fun to play with friends and stuff, but oh my god, I just don't know. This game just feels really great to play, it just feels great, it looks great, sounds great, it's just really fun to use, it has so much character customization. All the leveling and stuff, it's just so perfect and meticulous and it's just so good.
Fair enough.
Why aren't you playing it?
I came on yours the other day and saw you playing it, and you very generously let me listen to the sounds. It has very nice sound effects to it. All the music's nice, but especially the sound effects. They're just so good, so crisp.
Yeah, it's like the meaty crunches they had back in Half-Life.
Or at the start of Minecraft, they had good sounds at the start of it. And then they went and changed the door sound, and I have no idea why.
You have to divulge the entire podcast back to Minecraft at some point.
It happens, it's Minecraft, isn't it? It's globally hated and adored by everyone.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
So
it looks really, really good. Sorry, just talk a bit more about it. Because I used to play a lot of MMOs, actually. I used to be quite into Warcraft. And obviously, younger than that, I played a hell of a lot of RuneScape, and then I played a hell of a lot of Ion and Age of Conan. But from what I saw of Path of Exile, it was something that originally I didn't think I'd like, because it was a different format that, it was more similar to RuneScape, whereas everything else was more similar to World of Warcraft in the fact that you point and click to get where you want to go and stuff. But from what I saw it was really, really quite enjoyable, and everything seemed so atmospheric throughout the game.
Well, it's a really fun game, and if you get a chance to get a closed beta key, not just you, everyone listening to the podcast now, you should totally play it, even if you don't like MMOs, because I don't like MMOs that much, and it totally...
Do you know if it's going to be free to play when it comes out?
Yeah, it's going to be free to play. They're just doing this Kickstarter sort of campaign to launch it. Then it's on their side. You can buy a beta key for about £6 or so. Then you can buy loads of different reward tiers to support the game, and you get different rewards for it. And then it's cool.
Fair enough. What have I been? Have I been playing anything at all?
No.
No, we don't like video games here.
We lock you in the
worrying. I honestly don't think I've played. I played on Mechanical. Oh, yeah, that's what I've played.
As I say, we lock you in the basement and just make you do all the Parable business end of stuff. And if you start crying, we just beat you harder.
Oh, I wish they were joking. But yes, no, I've been playing on Mechanical, and it's very, very pretty. And likewise with Greg, by the time you're hearing this, or about a week before you're hearing this, I imagine, it's going to have a review up on the Parable website, so you guys should check that out. Plug, 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 plug.
And,
but no,
the Unmechanical Parable Challenge, check that out too.
Oh yes, yeah, check that out. Plug, 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 plug. But yeah, it's very beautiful as a game, and that is its most redeeming feature. But it's just so It's like flicking through a picture book more than anything else, because the gameplay really does take a backseat to the just the visual experience of it all.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who was instantly reminded of stuff like Machinarium when I started playing it, like with the whole atmosphere
definitely.
and the style and the stuff and the cute little robot.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to Machinarium. Not in gameplay as such, slightly in gameplay, but in the general aesthetics. So Machinarium is very much about the same thing. It was all about the visual aesthetics and the storytelling of it.
Aye.
And the storyline in Unmechanical is absolutely glorious, if not very subjective. And I'm not going to say anything else on it, because it gets really avant-garde and stuff. I definitely think it's something you should experience for yourself, rather than have somebody tell you how it unfolds.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So, yeah, you guys should, well, if you fancy picking it up, you should pick it up, because it's half decent.
Well, when I played the Parable Challenge version, I thought, wow, I'm really going to like this game, but I haven't had time to actually pick up and play it. But yeah, I will do.
It gets better as it goes on, and it's very short, coming in at only about 3 or 4 hours, so, you know, it's worth just sitting down for a bit and playing it all.
Fair enough. Anyway, news.
News. What has been happening this week in the news?
Black Mesa Source.
Nothing.
Black Mesa Source, indeed. It's been how many years has it been now? We've been waiting for it.
Oh
8?
my God! No, I don't think it's been that long. I think it's been about.
I'm sure it's been 8 years.
About 3-4 years at the most.
Wait a minute. No, it came out in like 2004. It was announced.
Wait, really?
Yeah, we've been waiting for this for fucking ages.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
this is old as balls.
Wow. Oh my God. But didn't they have like a finished version of it released last year, but they only released it to like a few select people? Because that's what I heard. Like this time last year, they had a finished build of Black Mesa Source, but they only gave it to a few people, and everyone was like really up in arms about it because they had like the full game, but they weren't releasing it.
Oh, okay. No, I don't. From what I gather, anyway, the one that they're releasing at the moment isn't actually like the full game, because they've got a like some other stuff that they're working on, but they've gone ahead to just decide to give you like Black Mesa as soon as it was ready. So that's sort of, from what I've read on, I think it was CVG that I read it on. They sort of made out that it was like almost being completed, and then as soon as it was done, they were going to get it out.
Fair enough.
But I'm not too, I didn't pay all that much attention to the news last year.
Well, they've got the whole splash page on the site now, so it's going to be out September 14th, and it's going to be free because it's a mod, source mod.
I would imagine so, but I believe it's got one of those, pay what you want for it things, because I know they have that on their soundtrack at the moment, which you can download right now.
So free.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so free.
If I was working on a game
it's
for 8
free.
years, people I hated, I would probably want a free-to-play thing as well. Like, I want people to pay for my game.
No, I imagine it works surprisingly well, because, when the first Humble Indie Bundle came out, everybody was just like, yeah, but nobody's going to pay bollocks for that. Everybody's just going to pay a penny. And then people, like Joe Average paid on average like £7, and then you have the big balls going off and paying hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just, you have to be some kind of special dickhead to not want to give any, like, a decent amount of money, especially for the Humble Indie bundles. Like,
Yeah.
it was always kind of assumed, like, if you did anything less than about $5, you were kind of a dick.
I love it if you give less than £1, then it makes you put in one of those captures to check that you're human. As if you don't have a soul.
Oh.
But, no, I reckon it's going to work really well, and if they do sort of have it's all speculation really, but if they do have a pay what you want, I reckon it will go quite well, because you can expect that, Gabe's going to pick it up, because if he goes off and gives like 10,000 to it or something, it's going to build up hype for Half-Life 3, and,
Or
so
what,
yeah,
what was
that's...
it? Half-Life
Like,
3? Never heard of that game.
3?
Never
3?
heard of 3 before.
I think we're beating a dead horse here.
We've been beating the horse for like 3 years now.
Anyway,
There's still jokes to get out of it.
All right.
We're all just upset now. We're all just trying to make fun of it because we're all dying inside. We want to know what happened at the end. Oh,
Yeah.
anyway,
Black Mesa's
enough of
gonna
that.
be hype.
Yeah, I'm probably. I wasn't. We were actually Greg and I talked about this here last week on the podcast, and Greg and I both sort of came to the conclusion. No, it wasn't Greg and I. It was Dan and I. Sorry, that we're not actually massive fans of Half-Life.
We're both horrible people.
As in, I think we both enjoyed it to some extent, but it really didn't come across as anything,
Is this Half-Life 1 or are
particularly
you
above
talking about
average.
Half-Life 2?
I'm on about Half-Life 1, and I believe Dan's played through them all.
Okay, well, Half-Life 1 I can kind of understand, but Half-Life 2 is pretty much amazing.
I might go back to it for some nostalgia, and
Definitely play
I
2.
was considerably younger at the time, so...
Definitely play 2, though. It's hype. It's perfect. It's nearly perfect.
Yeah, Half-Life 2 is pretty groundbreaking for its time too. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
anyway.
If you play in the context of it coming out in 2004, I believe it was. Yeah, either way. But if you like, I know, if a game you called a good game.
Oh god, Greg
Greg,
said.
you okay? Oh my god. Can we use that as an excuse to move on to Resi 6?
Oh god. Greg, your mic just exploded.
I'm sorry.
It's alright, it only deafened everyone.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. No, I was saying blah blah blah, but okay.
Moving on now from Black Mesa and the general Half-Life and Half-Life 3 ongoing discussion that we'll have every episode, it seems. Resi 6 Street Day was broken quite recently, as I'm sure everybody's heard.
By the Polish.
By the Polish. And,
Sounds like you're trying to say the polis in a weird
the police.
fucking.
But no, it was by the country, the Poland, the country.
The entire.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's not, the country's fault. It was probably the individual retailer's fault. But yeah, it's the largest scale streets break ever.
And it couldn't happen with a shitter game.
Well, it might be a
Thousands
shit
of
game,
people all over the world are going to be disappointed an extra month early.
It'd be hilarious if they. It'd be hilarious if they did the street break and just nobody came in to pick it up.
It's just like one guy going, I still love you, Resident Evil, and then the shop owners tell it, fuck off and play decent games.
It's gonna be, one of those really fat guys in the leather trench coats and the fedora. Typical Resident Evil fan.
Fucking off my attire. But, that's why we're clubs. Yeah, no, Resident Evil 6, I mean, it's a big deal that they fucked up, but it's still not an interesting game in the slightest.
But regardless of the game, because yet again that's something we talked about last week.
Yeah.
The street break was. I'm not sure whether it was just a misunderstanding on their half, a very grave misunderstanding, or whether they were trying to be lucrative fuckers. But they're gonna get sued a bollock load. They're gonna get sued out of their asses.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, they'd probably get, Capcom would probably destroy them, because Capcom are evil, so it's fine. I mean...
Well, I think regardless of their alignment, they did break the street day. They do sort of deserve it, because, essentially breaking the street day, they've taken away all the contests that they might have had from other retailers.
That's what I'm saying, but, most other developers would be, slap on the wrist. But I can imagine, Capcom being, EA or Activision and, destroying...
Take their children, string them up,
yeah,
and
exactly.
them.
Mark red marks. You have to mark a red mark in front of your door so that they don't kill your children at night, kind of. It's all kind of a bit biblical over there. But, no, I can imagine, Capcom breaking wrists and stuff.
Just send a SWAT team over. But yes, so that was fairly substantial, and for whatever reason... next month sometime.
Okay, so it was a good month in advance. I can't
it was
fuck that up so hard. I can imagine it was some employee just having a bit of a fun before he gets fired, if I'm honest. I honestly could probably see that happening. Just a rogue employee just goes, here you go, kids. Selling essentially like a drug.
But, surely he would still have the accountability for the one who put it on sale earlier.
True.
Oh, I'm not sure if he would have the accountability, whether it would shop these days, but,
not to sound too middle class, but the people working in like shit jobs don't really have brains anyway. So it's
No, yeah. And chances are he probably wouldn't have any, like, accountability. It's all going to be the shop's fault, really, I think, in the end of it. But
yeah, I mean, like, it normally is the shop's fault, and they sort of, like, take out their wages or some shit, they'll be fucked off, so... You probably...
Well, anyway, Guild Wars 2 is selling pretty well.
Let me talk about...
Trying to power through this.
Yeah,
The secret is Octo's desperate for a piss, and he's trying to get through the entire topic list in the next 5 minutes.
And I really don't give a shit about Resident Evil.
that's
we already established that nobody does, but
Guild Wars 2...
we all care about Capcom.
Killer 2K12.
But,
It really is the end of the world.
So yeah, Guild Wars
yeah.
2, top of the list.
Good, because it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, if I had a decent PC, I would be on that shit instantly. It looks
See, I really haven't paid all that much attention to it.
I'll be honest, I
You
think
can hear me hamming away now.
Because I said before, I'm not really that big into MMOs, but I guess I played the original Guild Wars with my friend's house quite a few times, and I think I might give this one a try.
It does look very pretty.
I prefer how Guild Wars feels like a package instead of an ongoing, tied down kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, if you're not playing subscription, then you're less inclined to play it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Unless it's that amazing that it keeps you completely hooked in every possible way, which I kind of doubt. And I know people are calling it the WoW killer, but I still find that comparison slightly silly, considering there's 7 years between them, even though WoW had all these shit expansion packs as well. And it's essentially...
Yeah, World of Warcraft is...
Do you know how well that turned out? Yeah, so that was the Old Republic.
What game was that?
That was the Old Republic.
Oh, okay.
Tortanic lol. But yeah...
But yeah, WoW is very old now, it's by today's standards.
Well, that's the upsetting thing about WoW. It's incredibly old, but it's still destroying everything in its path.
It's just because, it already has a substantial user base, and obviously with a social game, just like, I suppose it's the same story with Google Plus, is inherently better than Facebook, but it doesn't have the community for it. And so games like Ion, which are, essentially just newer World of Warcrafts, they're just not developing the communities for it, and there's not enough going on in each of the worlds and so on and so forth. So WoW will always dominate, really, and until there's a substantial
that's the
game.
thing. How do you beat something that's already beaten you? It's because it's got the install base. I mean, what do you do? Copy WoW, and then everyone just goes, "It's the same fucking thing. Why would I buy a new one?" Or do you go crazy and change it up? Like some have tried. But
I imagine. Like, Guild Wars seem to have a lot of hype going for it, so I imagine that's sort of trick to overcoming. Because they'll come out, everybody will go and pick it up, and, maybe it'll take quite a big hit on World of Warcraft, and then once, it has a substantial enough user base, a lot more people will want to go out and pick it up.
Well, I mean, like, WoW should die soon. Like, it should be dying somewhat. Because the next, next expansion pack will probably draw some people in. It's fucking pandas.
It really does pander to it's so easy now. There's just, like... I'm going to go on and sound like a proper neckbeard here, but all of the epic drops have just become, like, fucking candy. And it's like, oh, let's kill that thing, and it drops the rarest weapon in the game 8 times in one day.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And so on and so forth.
I feel like MMOs, like, they're allowed to have really shit gameplay just because you can talk to your mates while you're doing the shit gameplay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, look at me kill a boar. Whoa, well done. We all beat this fucking huge monster. We still hate our lives, but we're doing it together.
I really liked WoW when it, I bought it when it, like, way back when I was, like, 10 or something. Then I revisited it when I was, like, 14, and then I revisited it again when I was 16 or 17, like, quite recently. And I really enjoy it, to be honest. Like, even by today's standards, I do quite enjoy it, but the newest expansion packs really do make sort of the dungeons and the drops that you get very common. And there's sort of no pride in having a particularly rare weapon anymore.
Again, this is a very neckbeard conversation, but
yeah,
I mean,
I think we should move on. Please.
No,
moving on is the theme of this thing today.
Yeah, this is the you're listening to the Parable Moving On cast.
That was weak.
Yeah.
But like I say, they have made World of Warcraft more, dare I say, casual. But that's exactly what they have done. They are just dumbing it down to get more people in. which is
Yeah, they really are.
understandable, if I'm honest. But I mean, that's the burden there is on the people who are playing it and enjoying this dumb experience just because they can talk to their mates. It's like,
Well,
I don't know, it's just like a fucking swingers club where everyone's just exchanging keys and sticking fucking dicks in different holes and getting a bit of pleasure. But it's still not quite the same as just having one person and getting really involved in it and getting a deep experience, you know? That's what
I think that's the best analogy we're ever going to get on the podcast.
I'll take that crown and I'll wear it to fuck.
yeah, I think we should just end the podcast now. I think that was nothing's going to beat that.
I am essentially the peak of intellect within the video gaming community. I'm the next Jim Sterling, except, thin and not a cunt.
But on regards, again, with the sort of casualising World of Warcraft, it seems to me, like, I was really into it. Not, as into it as most, but I was quite into it. And eventually I grew bored, and I imagine it's the same for most people. So when they sort of casualise it, I suppose they're probably just saying, right, well, everybody who we could have appealed to with a tricky game that's got, rare drops, etc., has gone and fucked off and gotten bored of it and given us all their money already. So let's make it really casual so that all of the, people with their girlfriends can have a video game that they can play together.
Yeah, I mean, like, for every one person leaving because it's not a deep enough experience, there's 200,000 to 700,000 people joining because they can talk to their mates while clicking the button every now and then to swing forward. Griffin.
I would say, I don't know, when I used to play it, a very large percentage of the people that I used to talk to and who were in my guild, etc., were just girls who were only on World of Warcraft to talk to their boyfriends. Which I just find hilarious that it's managed to swallow up their lives so much that that's the only way that they can actually converse with their partner.
I thought you were ready to go full arrogant mode and just say they were there just to talk to you there.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
Just for me. But no. I mean, that's kind of okay, I guess. I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, they do kind of
Well, they show you better boyfriends, but we won't go down that route.
But
this isn't even about video games anymore.
A lot of people play WoW, that is their only video game experience.
Yeah.
That's sad.
They'll play, well, to be
I suppose if you're not into video games, it does pass the time very well. That is, all you can really say about it. It's
all you
very
want
effective.
medium is to pass time, then you're shit. That's terrible to say, but if you just go into something going, I need something to fill up the hours, blah, I'm going to sit here like a fucking...
But the vast majority, a very large percentage of people are like that.
Exactly, well, I hate them all.
Guild Wars, it looks interesting, whether or not it'll just fall into the mush of every other RPG that isn't WoW ever, MMORPG I should have said, or whether it'll actually, take a shot at the crown. It could go either way, I reckon.
Well, as a final note, I just say that I believe, especially with this, sales figures, that I can do it. At least in the West, because I have no idea what WoW and what MMOs do in Japan or anything. But either way, in the West, I think it could beat down World of Warcraft.
Any leaving opinions on that, Octo?
Well, all I really think is that, people shouldn't try to make, WoW killers, as it were. Just look at World of Warcraft as a sort of big benchmark, because that's all it really is now. Because when you've talking about the whole casualization or whatever of World of Warcraft, then it pretty much makes every other MMO that isn't RuneScape into a niche market, especially Guild Wars.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
There's so many MMOs now, but I'm sure we've already talked about this, and if we haven't, we're no doubt going to talk about it again. So we'll move on from Guild Wars, and we will start talking about what is personally, and I believe it's the same for Octo, perhaps our most anticipated game since we first saw screens of it a year ago, or 2 years ago, or whenever the hell we saw it.
Was that 2 years ago, 3 years?
It was a while back, and it looked glorious. And if you want, I will let you take the introduction on this one, because I'm sure you know more about it than I do.
Well, that's the thing, though. There's been so little coverage released about the game that I don't think many people actually knows about it. But the whole basic concept about the game is that you're piloting a fucking robot mech thing from first-person perspective, and all the gameplay is incredibly hyper-realistic and Oh, it's
and
fantastic.
glorious.
Anyway, of course, we are actually talking about Hawken. We haven't mentioned that yet.
Was worth mentioning at some point.
Anyway, yeah, the thing is, a movie deal has been signed with it before the game's even come out, before people even really know the full details about the game, which is pretty...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm quite excited about that as well. It's like, we don't even get mecha films over here, do we?
Yes, we just sort of get, like giant robots put into just sci-fi films, like, I don't know. For some reason, the robots in Hawken reminded me of the ones in Avatar, and Avatar was an absolutely shit film, so...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this has the potential to be just a really terrible Michael Bay, Uwe Boll film, but I'm more hyped for the game, obviously, than the
oh, yeah, of course. But
potential.
That's a given, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the video that we saw a while back, it looked so beautiful. Like, you had all the HUD of your mecha all over the place, like all of your altitude and that shit, and it looked so like you were just completely in control with your mecha. I know, like, a Lost Planet, that was always quite focused on the mecha, but it was always very limiting in what you could actually do with it. And yet, the videos that we've seen of this, you're just jumping all over the place, you're flying, you're shooting bitches, It looks so free and, like, limitless with what you can do with your mecha.
And it's going to be free to play, which is just the icing on the cake.
Ah, always glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay $5 for each of your individual components of your robot.
Yeah.
I say I'm cynical of that, but we haven't had a bad free-to-play game in years.
Well,
they all come out and they're
only
fairly
really been
decent.
Like a very recent trend.
Yeah, sorry, I say years. Since Tribes came out, most...
Right there, Greg?
Just sound like a possessed mumbling.
Typical Scott.
What?
But yeah, no, like most recent, as in with the last 2-3 months, have all been, they're never sort of one-sided, and a lot of games you can sort of get away with not paying and still get a full experience from them. And so I'm hoping that'll go down the same route.
Yeah, it's just going to have loads and loads of microtransactions in the game.
Sorry,
yeah.
The idea of free-to-play, always, I'm not even sure if it's true or not. I don't think it is, but I mean, it's always stuck in my head that it feels like the developers don't have confidence in the product. They're saying, okay, here's the product. You have to look at the product, and touch the product, and play the product before you put any money into it. I mean, whereas,
that's a very good point.
I mean, I don't think that at all. To interrupt you there, I'm going to use Tribes as an example because that is a game that I absolutely love, and it's a free-to-play game that's been developed so well. But it's if I saw it, I wouldn't have, what is it, 30, 40 quid these days for a full release of a game. I would never, sort of gamble that amount of money on the possibility of a good game.
Yeah, if you're working on a game for like 2 or so years and you haven't got the confidence enough to show it to the public, I don't think you would release it for free.
No.
But the difference, you talk about £30, £40, but on the PC, we all know that PC games are so ridiculously differently priced these days. It's only the AAA games that are £30, £40.
Yeah, it's still, a substantial price, though, and I think...
Well, that's the point. It's supposed to be a substantial product you're buying, so you're kind of... Like, if you're doing this amazing product and you think someone should pay a certain amount for it, then why are you making it free-to-play and then making it microtransactions? I fucking hate microtransactions.
I think it goes the other way, really, because surely you've got more confidence in your game if you're sort of going ahead and saying, you don't have to pay diddly squat until you've seen this is a fucking great game, and until you, think, oh, maybe I want to buy a voice pack, a recolor, more ammo for my gun, or something like that.
Yeah, but that's fucking ridiculous. Why the fuck would I buy ammo for a gun?
It's putting a lot of faith in the fans and to support the developers and stuff to get back for what is essentially a free game. I wouldn't. I think it's very audience specific. I wouldn't expect the same amount of Tribes hasn't been exactly financially successful, but I wouldn't expect that same level of success with, say, a free to play Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
They just think it's free play.
Sorry, I'm quite old-fashioned the way that I think if you pay for a fucking product, the product should be there. I don't like the free-to-play model just simply because I don't like microtransactions. I don't like playing a game and then being the idea of money being brought up during a game while I'm playing the game will always destroy any concept of immersion possible.
I see what you mean in that. I do definitely think it depends on the game. Something like Deus Ex, that the microtransactions wouldn't suit it at all. It wouldn't work with it, and that's not just because.
I'll give you that. I mean, it does work in something like, say, I do really dislike League of Legends as a game. I don't like playing it, but I can see why the microtransactions are used there. That makes it very good because I mean you can play around with the free weeks. Characters, you pick a character you like, you buy the character, or you earn the money to play the character during the game as well. That's an option. Obviously, it takes longer, but
yeah, and I always like that addition as well. Tribe's very much the same. You don't have to pay to get anything. You can, if you want. You know, you get rewarded for playing more of their game. So you can either pay it with in-game experience that you get, or you can send them. It's a very fair pricing as well. It's like, you know, £5 and you can pick up a new character and get a few nice upgrades for it and things. And it keeps it fair as well, which is another thing.
Yeah. That's what I mean. The free-to-play model is very... It's very hard to balance as well, especially when it's, you know, done by novice developers who don't really know the game, and they'll just throw in all these fucking things you can buy. And if some guy, you know what it's like, some guy with £50 in his bank account that he doesn't give a fuck about because his parents just throw money at him. He'll go buy everything and destroy everyone and have no skill, but you'll still beat everyone, and you're just sitting there putting maybe a £5 in your character and just go, this is a pointless investment. This guy's already much better than me.
But it depends on the game. It changes so much from game to game that it is quite hard to sort of categorise whether free-to-play is fundamentally a good thing or not. And I suppose it's always a gamble as well, but I suppose only time can really tell at this point whether whether it'll come out and turn out to be great, like Tribe to Send, I'll use an example, or whether it'll be a bit of a train wreck and give you overpowered as fuck robots.
Like I say, I'm not ready to write off free-to-play, but it needs to do a lot to convince me.
Oh yeah, it's still, it's fresh ground and all that. Yeah. So that is Hawken, and that looks good. And there wasn't really all that much we could say about it because there's not all that much to say about it at the moment. It's getting a movie, the game looks awesome, and it's going to be free to play.
Yeah, if you want to get more information on it, then they're going to release more info about it at the London Games Conference. That's all we really know about it at this point. But moving on. Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say about this instantly is, you know how it translates from the cutscene to the actual gameplay near the end?
Oh.
That is like literally the most pant-moistening thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's stunning. It's one of the, it's just amazing. And there's all been this debate about it, before it was actually confirmed that it's on current tech. Was this on current tech?
It doesn't look like it. It's amazing.
I think we're going to see an Uncharted 3 happen where you see, like, the product being shown off and then it comes out. It still looks good, but, nowhere near as good.
Yeah, well, we've seen it, we've actually seen footage of it, haven't we?
Yeah, but that said, you saw footage for Uncharted 3, like I said, but then the game came out and there was just some stuff, like, you'll be sad, like, there was the same scene in both, like, in one of the E3 cutscenes and then in one of the normal cutscenes where it was just sort of shit in comparison. So, I mean, the gameplay could easily be a select scene that is just made to look incredibly pretty.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's Metal Gear, like, I don't know, it's always been the same, really. Slightly less in later games, but very much the first few titles. It was always about looking great, though, wasn't it? I know we say, oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1, that didn't look great, it looked balls, but at the time, when you compare it to Croc and Crash, you had a fucking triangle for a body. The development that went into Snake and Articon, etc., and all the other characters, I'm not sure why I'm listing characters there, but the level, the graphics and all that shit was really quite phenomenal at the time.
Well, the thing is, everything about Metal Gear Solid was quite ahead of its time. Because you're talking about the design of the characters physically, but the actual writing of the characters is quite well done as well. I mean, I know it's hammed up as hell, and I know Kojima loves doing that. Yeah. But that's what makes it kind of interesting.
Yeah. But I suspect that this is going to look like a fantastic game, just because they always have in the past, and they've always tried to push on
I just question
graphics a major point.
As good. I mean, but no, it was such a good little trailer. And, well, it was 12 minutes, wasn't it? But it's making me incredibly excited for the game already, which is what Kojima's really good at doing. You know, just everyone gets hyped at the mere mention of a Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it because it's coming out on PC. And
Well, they haven't confirmed that, but they have confirmed it not to be an exclusive to the PS3. But they've said they're developing it on PC.
I thought the footage that they'd seen was it running on a PC.
Yeah, it is, but they haven't actually said it's going to be on a PC. It probably will be.
I'm sure they have. I'm pretty sure they confirmed for PC, really? Xbox, and PS3. I could be incredibly wrong, but I'm very sure that not very sure. I'm pretty sure they did it on Twitter or something.
Okay, well,
it's safe to assume.
Yeah, if it comes out on PC, I'll be very excited, because I didn't have as you all know, through my constant whining in every single podcast, I don't have a PS3, and as such I've missed out on all the glorious Snake times.
Snake times.
So, I'm really excited for it, because it's going to be great to actually get back into Metal Gear Solid since the last one that I played.
Buy a PS3, man.
Yeah, but then I'll play, the 5 games that I want, wait for fucking Tokyo Jungle to come out, play that, and then forget about it. And I'll join the ranks of the Xbox 360.
Games for PS3, though.
Yeah, I know, but most of them are out on the PC, and... Well, no, I say most of them, some of them are. But then there's, a lot of... It doesn't justify the purchase, really, how much I'll get out of it, because I know that I wouldn't even buy most of the games I whine about not being able to buy for not having a PS3. I'm too lazy to go and put fucking discs into a console, that's the problem.
Sad face.
Oof.
Yeah, Ground Zeroes definitely looks like it could be hype as all hell. I did find it funny how everyone was like, oh my god, Snake, he's like wearing Splinter Cell goggles. Is this just Splinter Cell? I was like, what? What?
I'm really freaking out about that. Oh god.
I saw it and I didn't know people were freaking out, but I thought, people are going to be freaking out about that.
I mean, it's also said to be open world.
Ooh.
Which is, I think that was Kojima's vision, really. I mean, Kojima's vision is probably very, very weird. So we'll have to see how that goes.
If Metal Gear Rising has proven anything.
Yeah, I do wish Kojima would make something other than fucking Metal Gear, if I'm perfectly honest. The guy's got a lot of talent. I just feel like he's been pending.
It's just milking the money cow. They can slap Metal Gear.
Oh, it's not even him. It's Konami. Konami just won't let him go.
I suppose, yeah.
Because Konami's like a fucking bunch of dicks trying to make games. They're all idiots. Sorry, just look at E3 the past couple of years, and you'll see why.
Million Zeus.
Wow. Oh god, that was the best E3 conference ever. Anyway, yeah.
So as I've said, I really like what I played of Metal Gear back in the day. I really liked it, and I'm really, really excited for this, which is unusual, I suppose, because I don't normally like video games.
I hate video games.
But yeah, no, it looks great, and that's great. It's great that it looks great. Another game that I'm really excited about, moving over to a way different point here, and a topic that I've just sort of randomly chosen to discuss about without really consulting the others. But Paper Mario 3DS has, we've been seeing trickles of information about it. We've been seeing, I think we got a preview fairly recently by some Nintendo magazine official lark. But basically we've always seen a little trickle of it, and it's really, really excited me, because it's going back to all of the fundamental Paper Mario things that we've seen in Thousand Year Door and all of the games before it.
You say that. Isn't there no partners?
There isn't. Well, there's one partner, but yeah.
Exactly. That's upsetting.
That is very upsetting, because it was always a substantial part of Paper Mario, but they're going back to the RPG elements of it, slightly.
Yeah. Well, as long as if it's somewhere in between Super Paper Mario, which was a massive disappointment, even though it was an okay game, for the first two Paper Marios, I'd be happy. But, Shuckle, like Scoo talked about this, who is your favourite companion?
From limit it to a game. I can't just...
No.
Overall?
Both of them, yeah.
I don't know. Possibly the Spark thing from the first N64 one?
He was cool.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
He was pretty cool.
And then, who is the last companion you get in Thousand Year Door?
Wasn't that Bombery? Or whatever he's called?
Yeah, the pirate bomb.
Yeah, he was cool.
He was very
I
boss.
preferred the pink little girl one from... That makes you sound really dirty.
It does a lot of
I
it,
do.
ever so slightly.
That one from the original Paper Mario. Or the ghost one. Remember the one that's sort of
From-
effects? Oh wait, no. Oh wait, no, fuck it. The little Yoshi who was always like, kept calling you Gonzalez or some shit.
Oh god, Thousand Year Door is bloody hilarious as a game.
It is literally probably the best GameCube game, and maybe the best game of last gen, because it's so good.
Yeah.
It's just perfect.
Oh,
It's such a
I've
fun...
forgotten about all those little jokes and things throughout it.
What's the
Even though
general...
you were called fucking Mario, he just kept calling you that same name. Didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, what's the general consensus on Super Paper Mario on the Wii? Because that's the only Paper Mario game I've played, and I absolutely hated it.
You know, it was generally considered a okay game, but my fuck did they screw everyone who enjoyed that series over.
Yeah, it wasn't strictly a Paper Mario title. It was jumping on that. The only people who really enjoyed it, and the reason why I say it was okay, is because there were sort of... It did have that Paper Mario sense of humour to it. You know, I don't know, one of the slight things I can remember is whenever you killed an enemy, the Wii loading screen thing would go in their eyes. And that sort of shitty referential humour that makes a Paper Mario game really charming.
Do you remember
But other than
Nerd
that,
Lizard?
Sorry?
Remember, like, the Nerd Chameleon that was in one of the...
Yeah.
Like, that kind of thing. That was brilliant. That was probably the funniest moment in any Paper Mario, surprisingly.
Yeah, well, he kept going on about Peach or something, didn't he? I only vaguely remember
I just
it.
remember one of the questions was just like, what's the best way to spend your time? Complaining about video games I've never played on the internet, kind of thing.
Yeah. That's a really good thing for Nintendo to joke about. That's very...
Oh,
Yeah, I was always saying, like, I think Nintendo just have two guys who just go on the internet.
Paper Mario is the pinnacle of comedy throughout gaming, and nobody's allowed to argue with that.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing. Nintendo got two very good RPG series under their belt within, like, over both platforms. Which is why I'm kind of confused Paper Mario is moving to 3DS.
No, I think recently we've always seen sort of a lot of games going to 3DS that are primarily console. We've got Luigi's Mansion, of course.
Yeah.
And Paper Mario and so on and so forth.
No, I just mean, like, Mario and Luigi was on DS and GBA, so I don't know why they just didn't continue that on 3DS and then just either keep Paper Mario back or just make a different one for Wii. But
I really didn't like Partners in Time on the Mario and Luigi.
Really? I thought that was supposed to be really good. No, Superstar Saga, that's the one that was, like...
Yeah, Superstar Saga was great. That's like way better.
I definitely agree Partners in Time was the weakest one.
Yeah.
And the third one's great.
Yeah.
Third one's amazing.
But they seem, from what I've seen of video footage of Paper Mario, they've kept to the same sense of humour. Like we've seen them sort of just picking up a giant household fan and taking it to some very industrial Toad who turns objects into stickers for you, which I imagine is a very niche market. But there we are. He's doing alright business-wise.
I mean, like, if it has decent enough gameplay like the original games, decent humour, some interesting worlds. Like, I mean, it's got to have stuff. I mean, from, the other Paper Mario games, you had stuff like that fucking murder mystery train with the penguins and shit.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Like, you can't... That stuff is just Nintendo. That's Nintendo
Yeah.
all over. And you had, like, the fighting ring with the Yoshi, as I said.
Yeah, it needs to have like these little side stories, and that was something that the Wii version missed entirely, because it was just the solid gameplay all the way through.
There was an overarching story, but then you had in every one of the 7 areas, there was another story.
Yeah, I really like that, and it helped keep the game fresh every single time.
Oh yeah, it was incredible. Like that's what Paper Mario 2 was about. What 30-40 hours long? It was just it was a long game, but it never felt long.
Yeah. Well, they've all been as RPGs usually are, they were all particularly long. Even Thousand Year Door, which was, other than the Wii version, Thousand Year Door was probably the shortest one. That was still, 20 hours?
I think I got 25, I think it was, yeah.
Fair, yeah.
No, there
So, yeah, that's our opinions on Paper Mario.
should be amazing.
Well, mainly mine and Greg's, because
I don't have an opinion.
Yeah, you've played the shittest one, so... Yeah.
Well, my final opinion is Paper Mario is shit based on the Super Paper Mario game.
I will fight you. I will fight you.
Fucking glass you mate.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, Steam Greenlight. That's pretty cool.
Octo introducing new topics. But yes,
So
Steam
anyway,
Greenlight.
that thing. But yeah, cool.
Steam Greenlight, I don't know, I can exactly see why they're doing it, it's sort of like,
Sounds
if you vote,
excited by
you
it
go on
anyway.
Steam Greenlight, you go on, you take a look at your game, you say which one you like, and then if it comes out on Steam, you're going to feel inclined to buy it, because that's the one that you voted for.
I really
And
think
I can
this is a fantastic business decision by Valve, because they've done this, like, last time with, like, the Steam Workshop and stuff, like, letting people decide what kind of games and mods they want, like, available on Steam, and then now they've just got, like, cool games available on Steam that you can just, it feels justified if, like, you're voting it up and you're supporting game, and you'll feel more inclined to buy it, as you said. And
Yeah.
I think it's pretty... I've always loved the whole business model of Valve deciding everything around what the community wants rather than what they want.
See, I'm actually the opposite,
Uh-huh.
because I don't think they do really sort of decide stuff around what... Well, they do, but with the sole intention of creating more sales, of course, because they're a company. But there's just something about the whole Greenlight thing. I get the impression that they're going to be holding certain titles back to try and sort of further the selling of other titles, like the winners of Greenlight. And I don't understand why... Perhaps it's just because I don't understand enough about business, but I don't understand why they're trying to limit what games they're selling. I don't understand why Greenlight couldn't have just gone the other way and been a slightly shitter Steam marketplace for slightly less developed games, and they were all on sale.
Yeah, but you say it like that, but then if you say like slightly less developed games, then who the fuck's going to look at less developed games?
Yeah.
Well, the people who enjoy those, obviously, the games on Greenlight
They're
at the
a
moment.
niche market. No one's going to look. It's like, sorry, let me use an example. The indie gaming marketplace on Xbox Live. No one looks at that because they know the arcade experiences are better, no matter how low the price is. They're wanting the better experience. It's just, it's not going to work for people. And that's,
I suppose, yeah, I can see your point, and I can see the fact that they're sort of giving it, they're giving a lot of, because everything on the Greenlight is, generally a less developed game or a game with a smaller market. It's a game that can't justify its own meta purchase on its own merits.
Well, not really. Lots of old classic like mods, like stuff like Neo Tokyo, the No More Room in Hell mod that just came out for Half-Life 2 recently. Those are all being released on Greenlight at the moment, as well as a bunch of people joking about releasing stuff like Half-Life 3 and Left 4 Dead 3 on there and getting reported and banned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still don't like the way that they're doing it. It seems to me like they're leaving a lot of people in the dark.
Well, the thing is,
or a lot of developers in the dark. Sorry.
The thing is, I imagine games like, I don't know, like, for example, Train Simulator. Not taking a jab at you, but I imagine if you're gonna, like, get up, like, 100 people voting up, like, some terrible weeaboo game on Steam Greenlight, more people are gonna buy that than bloody Train Simulator.
You'd be surprised at how well Train Simulator sells.
Oh, whatever, you know what I mean.
this is where you break out the single fact sheet you just got on your wall. Just in, like, every night before you go to bed.
Oh god, don't encourage him.
You stroke it with your tear-soaked hands, going, one day we'll be popular. I love trains!
Train Simulator is a remarkably popular game.
Should we not turn this into a train cast
people
again?
are remarkably fucking dumb, then.
No, it's a game that takes intellect beyond comparison.
Oh, I'm dying here.
Oh my god.
Sorry, but anyway, my main problem with Greenlight is simply because it gives the power to the users, which sounds amazingly anti-communist of me, which is fine. But you know what I mean?
What?
Like, giving the power back to the users, that's why. It's essentially we just might as well throw a pile of games in our crowd and just go, here you are, pick what you want. Fuck it out. It just doesn't work for me. I don't give a fuck what other people want to play. I want to play what's on Steam, and I want to look through Steam and find games that I want to play. I don't want to have to vote for games I want to play, then get them on Steam, then buy them. No, I want to buy them, play them.
Exactly, which is...
I don't want to fuck around. Especially because I'm looking at the front of Greenlight now, and look, there's a Minecraft clone.
Well, lots of these games are released already, so you can like download and play them, but they're just like expanding their reach to get on Steam.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's stuff like, look what I'm looking right now. War Z, Zombies, and then on the second line, 2 more zombie games. Then we have fucking Slender Source.
Well, that's because people
And
are
we have
stupid and they
fucking-
only like zombies and Slenderman and Minecraft and
Yeah,
cat videos.
Yeah, but we are just gonna have... Has anybody made a Slenderman Minecraft mod? Because that would download like fucking bollocks.
Oh, probably.
Actually, a Secret of Mana clone. What?
Oh, God.
Basically, I don't like this. I don't like this.
No, I'm against it as well, to be honest.
I would say
Sort
like
of similar,
this,
but slightly different.
Um,
I don't care what you say, I think it's a great idea.
I just think people are dumb, and it's going to exacerbate that problem. Because people, oh look, a city builder, God, RTS adventure. Oh, how original.
Well, people are dumb, but hopefully they're not dumb enough to vote up another Minecraft clone.
For what's
They are.
there.
And you know they are.
Oh.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean,
It's only been out for like a week or so, hasn't it?
I'm hoping that this is just me being jaded to the gaming public, and it'll turn out to be amazing, and then it'll be like some, like, that's the thing, I mean, if a really unique game came up, no one would vote for it.
Exactly, and that's nobody has any sense of uniqueness. And I don't want it to sort of become the thing where, like, I don't know, I'll use Unmechanical for an example. That was an indie game and it went on the Steam place. But if I get the impression if it went through Greenlight, it wouldn't get up there.
Yeah.
And that would be a shame, because it is a really fundamentally glorious game with a genuine originality to it and so much, and people aren't going to want to upvote and get behind a game like that there and really pour themselves into it. People are just going to fucking have troll, meme, Reddit, bollocks all over your face game.
Well,
And that's just going to dominate Steam because everybody's going to vote them up because it's so hilarious.
I really don't think that's going to happen realistically.
why the hell
maybe I'm joking.
I think that's probably that's the sort of thing, I don't know, I'm probably expecting too much of the Steam community, but that's something I would expect more on like the iPhone App Store or whatever.
I suppose.
Because usually,
well.
Steam games are usually much larger scale,
Yeah.
and these are mostly indie games that are being released, so it wouldn't be that much of a loss for Valve if like...
I'm just having a look at more of them, and I've seen another.
Would you mind searching My Little Pony?
Oh, I don't have to log in to search. So
Oh, okay.
but no, I've actually found another Island Forge, a world of player-created content. Play right now. And Gnomoria, which is a gnome game with a guy with a pickaxe. It's just fucking the same thing.
Yay.
It's already horrible. I mean, and everything else looks just generic. Or old. It's just... I don't think it's going to be any good. Oh my god, Yoga Ventures, or whatever the hell it's called, are those awful people who do those awful things about Minecraft.
Oh, God.
Fuck
Yes,
Minecraft.
yes.
That's fucking a cancerous piece of shit to the gaming community, if I'm perfectly honest.
It really is. And it's not even because the game is fundamentally bad, it's just... it's awful.
Yeah, I think this is nothing new. We've discussed this before on the podcast.
Video games are dead.
Yeah.
We're all very angry.
Everybody go home.
That's why we're here.
Fun is killing PC gaming.
Parable bringing video games back.
By killing them.
Also, speaking of video games that aren't fun, Dark Souls.
Whoa, fight.
Oh, here it goes.
Shots fired. Yeah, this
But no,
is the,
Sorry, go on, Greg.
Sorry, yeah, this is the news that developer of Dark Souls has considered the idea of an easy mode. Which is... This is the thing, though. He doesn't want his games to be perceived as hard. Which is fair enough. I don't think Dark Souls is that hard. Because it's not that hard. Like, it's not a hard game when you play it. You just have to fucking not be stupid.
Yeah,
But Dark
that's
Souls
exactly
fits into
that
that whole niche market because it is a incredibly brutal, punishing, hard game. It's one of those games
I think
like, I don't know.
a lot of people have confused the idea of challenge with being so hard. I mean, for me, hard is Ikaruga. Hard is Dodonpachi, Resurrection, all these ridiculously hard shoot-ups.
Toho.
Yeah, this hard is Devil May Cry 3 on Dante Must Die mode. Like, that's hard. Dark Souls isn't that hard. It's just...
No, it's you've got to have it doesn't pull you through the game. It doesn't walk you through every mode while spoon feeding you on vitamin tablets.
No, it's just,
you have to apply a bit of knowledge to it. And
the word for Dark Souls is challenging.
yeah,
Because it's a tough game and it's an uphill struggle, but it's not like a bad struggle. I don't think it ever really destroys your... Well, I mean, actually, it does kind of. I quite like how the thing about Dark Souls is difficulty is not the main factor. But like if you took away the difficulty, everything else would fall down. So
yeah, it's a very rewarding game to play, and you do feel genuine satisfaction as you make your way through it.
That's the thing. That's the amazing thing about Dark Souls, is that it gives you this amazing reward, but you're also in the most desolate shit world ever. I use shit as like, you know, not, it's not bad. Why it like the world has gone to shit.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. Everyone around you's dying. There's blind spider wipies that you just fucking killed the sister of. And
it's like living in hell.
You know what? That's what I mean. Like, it's all very, it's downbeat in the best possible way. And I feel like if you were fucking walking through that game, you know, just go la la la, I am the best gamer. That's the first time you play, then you're not really gonna be enjoying it anywhere near as much. It needs that difficulty to sustain the rest of its features.
Definitely.
So giving an easy mode wouldn't ruin it, but I think it would kill a lot of the enjoyment.
Yeah, well, I immediately think of Stalker, because the easy mode in that takes away so much from the game.
Definitely.
So I started playing on easy mode first, and I thought, this game is bollocks. And then I went back, started a new game, and Octo's Advisory, I just slammed it on the hardest difficulty straight off. And it was fun. And I've never gotten close to finishing it, but it is so much fun.
You never finished Stalker?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know, I found it average, but
no.
It was so much more fun with the difficulty all the way up. And it just, the game was shit with easy difficulty.
I think it's another difference in gamers in the last 5-10 years is we feel, I dare I use this buzzword, we feel entitled that if we don't complete a game, then we're not having fun.
Yeah.
I played so many games in my years I have never beaten.
Yeah, take Mario, the original Mario game. That had 16 worlds. Everybody seems to forget this fact that it had another 8 worlds after it that were insanely difficult.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not about completing the game, because I did eventually complete the original Mario, and I haven't gone back to it since, when I used to play it quite a lot.
I think the focus too much is on what you receive after, before, and during the gameplay, but never on the actual gameplay. This is the thing. Sorry, feels like I'm getting into something completely different, but it's the end of the podcast. Fuck the police. But it's just, I feel like we're missing the fun of playing, and we're exchanging that for the reward of cutscenes.
Yeah, I'll take what was that DS game that was a follow-on from Wind Waker?
Phantom Hourglass?
Phantom Hourglass, yeah, Phantom Hourglass. It was too easy. It didn't follow on properly from Wind Waker, because Wind Waker was a difficult game.
Yeah, was it right? Wasn't that hard?
It was quite hard once you get in all like the...
Well, yeah.
Well, I say it was hard. It was
challenging.
I'm not gonna lie, Wind Waker felt like the easiest Zelda game.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the gameplay and, you know, fighting and all that was very easy to come across. The puzzles were particularly easy, but like once you get to that point where you got to get all of the Triforce pieces.
Oh, that wasn't hard. That was just really tedious, in my opinion.
I didn't find it tedious at all. I fucking loved it.
Really?
Probably because I went about it the wrong way and I just went from island to island looking for it. Fuck treasure maps.
You can even find them with the treasure maps, especially when you have to find the ones that were like buried in the ocean.
I always found Wind Waker one of the easiest ones.
Okay, I suppose we disagree there. I found Phantom Hourglass impossibly easy and
I gave
boring.
Up with that game. I just gave up with it because of that ocean temple. You know, the one you have to re-go back to.
I can't remember the ocean temple at all.
It's the one you have to go to every time you got a certain thing, and then you have
to
further up it.
Yeah, it was all very easy. That was like essentially a mini game. But yeah, so we don't want an easy mode of Dark Souls. We don't care if it sounds elitist. I don't care if it sounds elitist.
It's not about, just to reiterate, it's not about being elitist. I just feel like you undermine the entire experience if you take away the challenge.
Yeah.
Well,
and the fact, well, for me it is very much, I know it's going to sound remarkably elitist, but sort of the community with these remarkably difficult games like Stalker and Dark Souls is only there because it's full of people who enjoy a challenge.
Yeah.
And I don't really... It's going to sound awful me saying this in words, but I don't really want that being diluted by a bunch of people who have walked through it, had a good time, and then Yeah.
But that's the thing. We have Dark Souls and maybe The Witcher 2 and maybe some shmups. But then there's like every fucking casual game under the sun.
Yeah.
Well, Mega Man's another game that was like renowned. Whole series that was renowned for being ridiculously hard, and that introduced an easy mode in Mega Man 10, and it didn't seem that bad. Though there has been a Mega Man game since then, so maybe it killed the series. So.
Then Mega Man is now a series that runs on its old lot, essentially. Mega Man 10 really wasn't that good a game in comparison.
Yeah, Mega Man 10 was pretty awful. Mega Man 9 was a good reboot, but after that they sort of milked it.
Yeah, they made fucking Sheep's Man or some shit, and I was like, what?
Yeah, but Sheep's Man was like a Blade Runner reference or something. Wasn't it?
It was worse than fucking Tomahawk Man.
I guess. Oh, Tomahawk Man.
I always liked Squirt Girl or Splash Girl or Moist Girl or whatever her name was.
Squirtle, I think that's a bit too hentai.
Ugh.
It was essentially that. What was it? It was in the original.
Splash Woman.
Splash Woman. But yeah, anyway, on that note, that is the Parable Cast, and we hope that you enjoyed it.
Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
It's been Greg, and it's been Octo, and it's been Matt, and we've had great fun.
Bye.
Toodle Peps.
Oh my god, dicks in my throat.